This is Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank for the week of Monday, February 6th, 2012. Hello, everyone. On today's episode, I got a really unique opportunity to interview about their experiences two Holocaust survivors, Willy and Helen Luksenburg. They have really an amazing tale. This is not going to be a funny episode. If you're looking for something to lighten your day, please go check out one of my earlier podcasts or one of my friends' podcasts, or both, either way. But this is not going to be that. Nevertheless, I think it's really important to hear this stuff. I've read things about the Holocaust, and I don't know if you guys have this, but what I do is my brain it almost categorizes all the stories in the fiction department. Like I know it's real, but a part of me can't quite wrap my head around it. And so I just sort of view them as stories. It just sort of like a part of me thinks they're made up, but they feel that way because you read them in the same way you read Ernest Hemingway or anyone else who you read, Stephen King. But I think there's something to be gained from hearing them talk with their own mouths, and hearing these words come out of their own mouths. I just think it hits home a lot harder. There's a room at the Holocaust Memorial in Washington, D.C., where it's nothing but that. It's nothing but survivors telling tales in their own words. They're between like 40 seconds and a minute, or 2 minutes maybe, and it runs one after another. And it's a quiet room. I think it's on the second or third floor, off towards a wall, and you can just sit down and listen. And it's a really powerful situation. So with that in mind, I was really excited to be able to interview Willy and Helen. The recording is not great. I did the best I could to fix it, but I recorded it in August of 2011, and all I had with me, I didn't have any of my equipment now. All I had was I opened up my laptop and pressed record using Audacity, using a computer program. So I fixed it as best I could. There are moments where you can't really understand what Willy is saying. Please just try to keep listening, and he'll turn his head back in a few seconds, and you'll be able to hear him again. There are a few times when Helen repeats herself. Don't worry about it. Everything she has to say is very important. So just bear with it. This is one of those things, you guys, where I just think it's important. Is that we have a very limited amount of time where we can get these people talking about things in their own words and be able to record it. You can't talk to anyone from the Black Plague. Those times you're done. This is a horrible situation, but it goes with my feelings of listening to the human experience and understanding about what humans go through, our history, and just as individuals, how we would react in different situations. This is what I enjoy hearing about. So, with that in mind, please enjoy a very special episode of Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank. This will be episode 45, The Holocaust Couple, with Willy Luksenburg and Helen Luksenburg. Please enjoy. Okay, so hi, I'm Ari. I'm Nat's son. I'm here with Willy Luksenburg and his wife Helen. How are you? Thank you very much for talking to me about this. I went to the museum yesterday. And I think it's really important to hear everybody's stories. So you guys were from Poland?
Yes.
Okay. You were born, when were you born?
1926.
1926.
I grew up in 1923.
1923. Okay, and then when did the Nazis come to Poland?
1939, 1940.
Okay, so you were 13, 14, you were 17, becoming a man. And they took you and they put you in the ghetto first? Or how did it?
No, in the beginning was an open ghetto.
Okay.
What that meant that we were wearing the armbands. That anybody could see, and we were not allowed to go on certain street. It was like an open ghetto.
Okay.
And after 7 o'clock...
Curfew?
Curfew.
Okay.
But that applied to everybody, I think, not just to Jews.
Even in the other parts of all of Polish? Oh, because the Nazis didn't really like Polish people.
Not at whole Poland. You see, some part... near the Russian border, the Russian took part of it, occupied it. And we were born near the German border, so the Germans took that part.
Oh. Okay, because they were both fighting over the territories.
They were actually not fighting over the territory, but they agreed during the war that they divided Poland.
Okay, just split it up. So then, did you guys meet in the ghetto? No.
Not much was on. You
We
had
didn't
to.
meet in the ghetto.
Okay. So
We got rations.
what is that?
We got rations.
Rations, yeah.
You had just so much you could buy. Otherwise, it was a black market. And if you lost your job and your business, you didn't have much money to go and buy. The black market was much more expensive.
Oh.
You could buy, but who had the money?
What would you buy? Things like eggs or bread? Or
They gave us rations.
okay.
And that's what we could go to the store and buy it. If you wanted more, you could buy it on the side, but you
Well,
could,
black market, they call it.
On black
on
market.
a black market, yes.
Okay. And how would you use the money you already had for that, stowed away, or how would you even how would you get money to use the black market?
It was very bad because my father had his business on the border of Oberschlesien. And I remember I was 14 years old, took off my armband, and I went over the border because you had to be 14. I said, I am 13. I wasn't such a big girl.
Yeah.
And my father gave me a list of people. I walked.
You walked over.
And about 6 miles was the border. And gave me a list what he trusted, and I brought that time home about 500 marks.
Okay. From people.
From people he trusted, and they owned him money.
And if they caught you without your armband?
Oh, I took it off. I pretended I'm Polish.
Okay. And you could blend in?
Yes, I could blend it. And I spoke good Polish and things, so I didn't have any problem. I didn't look typical Jewish either.
Yeah.
You know, like some people
I look Jewish. All my friends tell me, Ari, are you a Jew? We know you are. I got the curly hair and the nose. I can't escape. And the glasses, it doesn't help. Wow, okay. And so what were you doing during this time? Also in the open ghetto?
Oh, first they came in. The same thing.
Okay.
He came from the same area, but just 6 miles away.
Okay.
My name is Dobrova Gurnica.
Your name is what?
Dobrova Gurnica, that means the coal. Coal.
We were born on coals. We walked on coals.
Cold. Okay.
Coal mines.
Coal mines.
Yeah.
First, right away they make a ghetto, like open ghetto. It's very hard to get bread. Sometimes get up 3 o'clock in the morning to stay in line to get.
They ration it.
Oh, wow. How were people in line? Like, how were the other Jews in line? Did they push and shove, or were they when it was time to get their rations, or was everyone orderly?
No, orderly.
Yeah.
Okay.
You stay in line.
Okay.
3 o'clock in the morning to get a piece of bread.
Wow. From 3 o'clock till whenever, till 6 or 7?
Because my mother went through a war already, so she was I was born near the German border.
Okay.
So the next day, Friday, was it what? When does it start?
When is
June, 1st, something like that.
The war.
The war. And the Germans were right there. We couldn't I was 13 years old, I couldn't go to school anymore.
Suddenly they just said, you're not going.
The schools were not, we were wearing armbands, we were, it was like an open ghetto, you couldn't go on certain streets.
Do they there's a lot of stuff I don't know, and I've heard, but I've never asked certain things, because did they give you the armbands, or did you have to make them?
No.
You had to make your own. No. And they told you what it should look like.
They were selling them. It was a white armband with a Magal David inside, the blue one. And you had to wear it on the left arm. And if summertime, you had to put it on, sew it on your clothes.
If you had shirt sleeves on?
Yes.
Okay.
So you were wearing on the left side of the
Okay.
chest.
Over your heart, just a Magen David. Okay. So how long were you in the ghetto for?
The ghetto started 1940, right? The beginning of the war.
Okay.
The Pence was divided. Part of Poland near the Russian border, the Russian took over.
Okay. You were in the Russian.
No, I was on the German side.
Okay.
And we were born on the border of Polish-German border, both of us.
Okay.
So the Germans came in, and right away, with an open ghetto, we were not allowed to move freely every place. Schools were forbidden
Forbidden.
for Jewish children. I had a younger brother and a younger sister, so for a while, I went to still second or third in high school.
Yeah.
And after my father said I can't afford, we had to have private lessons. Schools were not for Jewish kids.
They just wouldn't allow it.
So I stopped, and I belonged to a youth organization. So the older people in the organization who had more education, they used to give us private lessons in the afternoon. But I had a younger brother and my sister, so my mother took a teacher to teach them.
Yeah.
Used to come home to the house, but after a while, my father said, I can't afford to pay them. His business was taken away, and money wasn't coming in.
Yeah.
So it was very difficult.
So you had to stop education completely.
I took for 2 or 3 years high school, that's all.
At some point, did it become unimportant, education?
It was after you had to go to work.
Yeah.
At times when you were 14, if you were not employed, they sent you out to labor camp.
Oh.
You had to have a piece of paper that you are employed.
It's what?
You have to employ.
You have to have okay. So if you're not working, then you're useless.
You
then?
don't. No, it's useless. But you didn't get the rations either.
Oh. What kind of jobs would you have?
My uncle had a factory, so we worked in the factory.
Outside of the ghetto.
No. Yes.
Okay.
And the Germans took over the factory.
And so they employed you at a very, very low rate.
That's right.
What did you do?
Minimum rate.
I went to school, to Polish school.
Okay.
Helen involved mostly Jewish children. And I went with most Christian children, maybe seven boys that are Jewish.
Out of how many?
Out of the 50s class.
Okay, so 7 out of 50. So it was mostly non-Jews.
Non-Jews.
Okay.
Who were, the teacher was a Polish guy in a
Priest.
Oh, okay.
He was singing, come in the classroom, everybody kneeled, and the 4 Jewish boys stand in the corner. Mostly Rabbi, like Helen, where I went to Christian school.
Okay. And he exempted you from the kneeling? They knew you weren't?
No, you didn't have to.
Okay.
So we had class of singing. So he saw that my mouth doesn't arrive at the same thing. He took the bow, hit me in the head, but he śpiewał Żydzie,
Did you sing
Jew?
Oh, so you weren't really accepted already?
He could tell from his movement of his mouth that he's not, that he's
singing
cursing.
the right words? He knew you were cursing them? So he hit you with what?
With the bow.
Okay. That was the normal way to...
Were you singing, you damn Jew?
What are you
I went
singing, you
to
damn
Polish
Jew?
school.
He lived in a smaller
we had
town.
small town. We had a religious school one time Wednesday.
Okay.
So the boys got together because they scrutined, used to throw stones for us. So 10, 15 boys went to religious school.
Okay.
In a group.
So the other Polish people wouldn't really accept you?
No.
No. This is before the war. Was there already anti-Semitism?
Oh, yes.
And you felt it too?
Sure.
Okay.
I lived in a bigger city.
My mother was a friend with one woman who was in the bakery. Since we didn't have no bread, she said, I took my armband off and I went over. She said, I'm sure she's my friend. She gave the bakery. Guess
Bread.
what?
Just bread. Yeah.
She said, no.
She said,
We
no,
don't, because you're Jews, we don't give you nothing. She was
She
a
shut
friend.
the door on him.
She was a friend from before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So wait, so you would take your armband off? Would that happen a lot whenever you were smuggling out?
That's right.
To try to get stuff?
Yes.
Were people caught without their armbands?
That's right.
I don't know. Didn't look typical Jewish.
Yeah.
So I was 14 years old, and my father did business on Oberschlesien, what used to be after the First World War.
Yeah.
They moved the border, and these people spoke mostly German. It was part of Germany. So he gave me a list of people, and I went over the border.
Yeah.
I didn't wear anything, didn't look typical Jewish, spoke good Polish.
Did you have friends that were caught over the border? Or did you know anybody that got caught without their
I'm sure they
without
were
their
there.
armband?
Yeah. If they recognized them. Me, they didn't. I spoke good Polish and German.
Yeah.
They didn't suspect me of anything.
Did you
And
speak Polish or German or just Polish?
Polish and some German, mostly because we spoke, it was a German-Polish
Border.
border.
Okay, so you spoke both.
A lot of German.
Okay.
And they didn't.
didn't stop you.
I had a list of people that my father trusted.
Yeah.
And I came home that time with about 500 marks.
Yeah. So they just gave money to you.
They owned it to him. They didn't give me money.
Oh.
They owned it. He gave me a list of people what he
These
trusted.
people owe me money. Okay.
So, and I brought home. I wasn't afraid. I went over the border,
No. 6 miles.
took off my armband, spoke German, spoke Polish good, so I wasn't afraid.
What was the mood like in the ghetto?
Well, they made a Jewish police.
Okay. And how were
The
they?
Jewish policemen thought, because they're going to policemen, they're going to be served, they're going to be left alive.
What's that?
No, he doesn't explain. A lot of people volunteered to become policemen
Okay.
because they thought that they can protect the family.
Oh, they'll leave us alone if we
Yes,
police
but
for you.
at the end, when they liquidated the ghetto, the police went too.
Yeah. Were the Jewish police,
Jewish police.
were they kind or were they mean?
Some were mean, some were the power took over.
Power corrupts almost everyone, I think.
Oh yes, so
No matter what the situation, if you get
Yeah.
power, some people
Yes.
abuse it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I try not to judge them because I don't know what I would be like if I had power.
Well, I remember they took my father and my mother away
Oh,
to go to Auschwitz.
they just took them away.
Took them away.
Okay.
the Jewish
The
police.
And they said, come with me.
Yeah,
And then
Yeah.
they just left. And left you there?
that's right.
Did you have
Because I
brothers?
used to work in a hardware store, and I had a
A German overseer.
Okay.
They took all German businesses. They call it Volksdeutsche. It means the Volksdeutsche were the people who live in Poland, were German.
Became
They call it Volksdeutsche.
Is it called what?
Volksdeutsche.
Volksdeutsche.
Volksdeutsche?
Yeah.
Volksdeutsche.
Okay.
And German, Polish.
Became
Okay. A citizen?
how to explain it?
What they did,
follower
they took
of
over.
Hitler.
They took over all Polish businesses.
Yeah.
So I used to work with
They awarded them.
So I used to have a card that I'm working for Volksdeutsche.
For the people who took over the Jewish businesses. Okay. And so you were allowed to go work.
That's right.
Did they give you a chance to say goodbye to your mother and father?
No,
They just took them and left. Did you see them leave?
no.
They were just gone.
You see, there was a ghetto phone.
Was it good?
You don't know what was a ghetto?
I know what a ghetto was.
I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, they were taking to work. You had to be employed from the time you were 14 years old. Otherwise, they send you out to Germany to work and everything. So I was protected. My uncle had a factory, and we all had employment.
Would they lie and say people were always younger, just to try to protect them?
No, I was of age. I made myself 1 year older.
Okay.
And so how long you had evidence that you are employed?
And that's just a piece of paper saying you're employed?
Yes.
And people ask to look at it?
Sure.
Okay.
So how long you were employed? And after they liquidated the ghetto, and they sent, my parents went to Auschwitz, and we, because we were labor, they needed a labor force.
Okay.
So they sent us to work.
Where do they send you to work?
To factories in Germany.
Factory. Okay.
And that's how we survived.
Okay. And at what point, so what was the mood like in the ghetto?
Very bad.
Very bad.
We were hoping that people were talking, making up stories. Mashiach is coming. You know what is Mashiach?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And things like that. They went to the rabbis, and I remember they used to put, a prayer book, and they said, I don't remember what, and the prayer book moved. It's like God, remember that?
What was that? What was that?
People believed in all kinds of, you were trying to hold on.
To anything. Were you trying to find reason why this was happening? Or trying to make it make sense in your head? Or
no, we knew that.
You knew what it was?
Against Jews.
Okay.
Hitler started in 1938 when he came for power. We had to share housing. We were born on the Polish-German border. And we had evacuated the German Jews. If they were born, some were born in Poland, the parents, so they sent them back to Poland. Some of them were not born there, so they were not considered citizens.
Oh, and so what would happen if you weren't considered a citizen?
So they send you back to Poland.
Okay. Oh, they expelled them.
Expelled them.
Oh, okay.
So we had to share housing with them.
Who did they just say, okay, you have a roommate now? How did they decide?
They knew. Everybody had to have papers where you were born.
If you want to get the bread, you have to be an address, you know who you are.
Okay.
We had to have IDs.
And the IDs was to get bread and to move around?
No, to show who you are, that you are a Jew. It said you there.
Yeah. And you'd have to present them. When would you have to present them?
If they ask you, you had to present them, yes.
Okay.
And we didn't live. We had to move to our own quarters. We were separated for the rest of the public.
Yeah, in this ghetto.
And we were wearing armbands with a Magen David.
Yeah. Okay, was there any time where you could play with your friends, or no?
Yes, because we lived in our own surroundings.
What we had, some people would have baked bread.
Yeah.
Illegally.
Bake their own bread.
Bake their own bread.
Okay.
They got caught. To show that you cannot do that, they hang them.
They would hang the people who made their own bread.
Right.
And when they hanged them, if they caught somebody, the rest of the public, we all were close in a ghetto. We had to go and witness, look at it. They forced you to leave your home and stay and
watch them
witness it. Yes.
For making bread?
For anything you were punished.
Okay. But there were moments you could play with could you play tag with a friend or anything?
Yes. Nobody was standing over us like that. But we were separated from the rest of the public.
Okay.
And then the old people went to Auschwitz.
They took them away immediately.
Right.
The old.
The younger people, we had to work.
Okay.
We had to register, and then we had to work during the war, and after they send us out.
How would they decide who would go? If you got sick, they would send you?
That's absolutely, you cannot get sick.
If you get sick, that's it.
They go and
they take you.
Crematorium.
And they take you to Auschwitz or wherever else?
We were close to Auschwitz,
So
an
that-
hour
so it's like
away.
because of-
We were born an hour away from Auschwitz.
Okay.
So this was the place. If you were in Middle Poland, was another place. Łódź, the ghetto.
North, yeah.
Okay.
Also,
Lublin.
little ghetto.
So then at some point it became your turn, where they took you. What was?
It was, we were working, I worked, you had to be employed, otherwise you didn't get the rations.
Yeah.
So you didn't have what to eat. Not that it was much what they gave you, but you could, bread was expensive. I was the oldest one
That's on
of
the black
three
market.
children.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
had to buy on the black market.
But at some point they decided that it's your turn to go to the camps. Was that during the liquidation?
No, they needed our manpower.
So they never took you? You stayed in the ghetto?
No, they send us out to labor camps. That's what I mean by labor power.
Okay.
They took over, they had factories, they took over and they needed us. We were the slaves.
And you stayed there until the end of the
Young
war?
people, how long? Older people, they didn't have any need, they sent them to Auschwitz.
Okay. And so these labor
But they
camps,
needed our manpower.
where were these labor camps?
In Gleiwitz.
In Gleiwitz.
They made artificial rubber. 120 degrees heat.
They made rubber? And they
Artificial rubber.
artificial rubber.
110 to 120 degrees I worked.
It gets that hot in Poland? Wow.
But that was in Gleiwitz, in
Okay.
Germany.
Oh,
Now it's Poland. They shifted the border.
okay.
And Poland took over some of the territories.
So, okay.
So I worked in Gleiwitz as a slave.
Okay.
In the beginning, we not have numbers. Then the SS took over, and we got tattoo
What's your number?
187295.
187295.
I took it out. Here was my mom, much smaller.
And my father told me you took it off.
Yes.
People were asking questions.
7'9", what is it, 7'9"? I don't even remember, I have a picture of it. I took it off because it was much smaller,
Yeah.
and people kept asking me if this is my social security number. So I decided, you can't open up your heart to see. Each time I had to explain it, I cried.
The supermarket, you don't want to talk to people about it.
So
That's
I
fair.
took it off.
And 187295, that's just the order, that's just,
Whatever the order was now.
Anyway, when you said all naked women, the SS would stay and tattoo the women naked.
who would?
The SS,
It would tattoo.
some troopers
Oh,
who came.
You had to stay
Auschwitz.
completely naked to be tattooed.
on the arm?
Here, I had a number, I removed it.
Okay.
People kept asking me, this is my social security number. That's how stupid they were.
Yeah. So the labor camps were different than the concentration camps.
Right.
Okay.
It became eventually a concentration camp.
They sort of became the same thing after a while, right?
That's right.
Were they just converted to be like, all right, let's just use this for killing?
Yeah.
After a while?
How long you were able to walk,
work,
you didn't
okay.
get sick.
And so that was pretty much the only thing that would save you, is just not getting sick?
Not it.
That's right.
And was that just luck, that you don't
It's
catch a
pure
bad
luck.
cold?
Yes, pure luck.
You know,
Pure
they
love.
had boils, and that had no nourishment.
What?
We all had boils
Boils.
because
Okay.
we didn't get sufficient food.
Right.
So I had them too. And the doctors were Jewish doctors.
Yeah.
So they used to remove the thing. And what they did, they didn't have any medication. They used to take the pus out and made an injection and give you the injection.
Really?
Yes, no?
Yeah. Wow.
Because they didn't have even medication.
Okay.
Got boils because of lack of food, lack of vitamins. I had big boils here.
And your knees and your arms. The malnutrition must have been tremendous.
That's tremendous.
What?
The
You
malnutrition.
get bread.
Oh, we hardly had
You
anything.
get bread mixed with sawdust.
Bread mixed with sawdust. My dad was telling me that a little bit.
Right.
To make it fuller. to make it seem like it was more.
You get
Less
that much for 24 hours.
less flour to use.
Yeah. So, okay. So, what were the sleeping conditions like?
On straw.
On straw?
And once when we came to the camp, before it was a sick, just for sick people.
Okay.
So we were laying on a lot of people got sick because they were spreading.
Yeah, and you would have to use their same areas to sleep right next to them.
That's right. A lot of lice, a lot of bed bugs.
What did lice feel like? It said that in the museum.
All over.
Just an itching all the time?
But we had at least water. We showered.
Okay.
You see, we were fortunate because we worked in a factory.
Like artificial rubber.
Yeah. Like artificial
Suit, black suit.
And they let you shower?
We had to take a shower every day. We looked at.
Okay.
So
Because
we had to take a shower. They gave us shower and soap.
Oh.
Because we worked in a Deutsche Gasruswerke where we were producing black stuff.
Yeah, and it would get all over you.
Artificial rubber.
So they let you take a quick shower, soap, and then...
We had showers, hot water and everything.
Oh, wow.
And soap, yes.
Okay. And so how many years did you stay in the labor camp? Away from the ghetto?
3.5 years.
3.5 years.
Actually, the labor camp lasted less than a year after the SS took over and became concentration camp.
So then they started killing?
Concentration camp, they tattooed us.
Yeah.
I removed it.
Yeah.
And was it different?
It
They
wasn't
stood
different?
and watched us.
Yeah.
If you made one mistake, they send you out to Auschwitz.
Okay.
If they caught me, he was in the men's camp. That's how we met, through the fence.
So you sat next to the fence and talked?
Yes, but if they caught you, they could send you out.
Because you weren't allowed to talk?
No, not to a man. It was a fence between. So...
How did you know to talk to each other? Did you just walk by one day and say hi?
No, I knew...
We worked on the same factory.
You worked at the same factory, nearby each other or next to each other? And you started talking?
Yeah, I'm talking. That's right.
And so then you liked each other? How old were you then?
Yes, we talked through the fence.
You guys started a relationship at a work camp?
Tell about the cut in the hair.
Oh, I was... They caught me by the fence talking to him.
Okay.
And they came to my room was right the first by the fence.
Okay.
So...
Your barracks, your bunk.
In the barrack. So they came in and they said they caught 5 people and said who to come forward, who was there. So the others were afraid because I was brave and came forward.
You came forward?
Yes. So they didn't cut my hair. They cut it short, but they didn't. The others, they shaved completely.
Wow.
Because I was brave and came forward.
So that was a way of telling everybody, see, if you had told us when we asked you, you would have hair too.
I don't know. But
so they left your hair.
I was brave and I admitted it.
Uh-huh.
And the Germans were you had to be honest.
That was their thing? They wanted you to make sure you told them the truth whenever they asked? And so you started a relationship through the fence?
Well, how did you start it? I don't even remember.
I was washing my... You know, he had a lot of lights. I used to get out middle of the night and wash my clothes. You could full the lights. And everybody ran out of the water. So she came, she saw me.
So you're washing your clothes too. There's a set of water.
We didn't have in our washbarak water.
Okay.
So there was a gate and we could go into the other washbarak. And he was there and I knew who he is. His cousin was my friend. So I started...
But wait, his cousin was your friend before the war, or that you
during
met
the war.
During the war? Okay.
And so I started to talk to him. And he used to come to the fence on one side, and I was on the other side.
At this point, you were what, 16 or 16,
yes,
17?
16, 17, yes.
Was it romantic right away? Did you guys ever kiss?
No physical thing. No.
Okay.
You could be, if you are caught,
Yeah, that's it.
that's it. You were sent to Auschwitz.
Wow.
By the way, the doctor saw a woman was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And a woman SS always stood by when check him out.
If the woman what?
The woman was pregnant.
Yeah.
And he tried to save her. But she
What
was,
are you talking?
If a woman was pregnant, who would try to save her?
you remember? She sent her out because the doctor got sent out because he tried to protect her.
Oh, the doctor tried to protect a pregnant woman?
That's right.
She came to camp pregnant. Maybe she was 2 months pregnant.
So you couldn't tell yet?
So she
Well,
thought maybe she can survive. So what happened? I don't even remember.
The doctor, because the doctor did not save her, he got sent him to Auschwitz.
He sent who to Auschwitz?
The doctor, the Jewish, it was a Belgian man,
They sent a doctor to Auschwitz because...
because he did not, he tried to protect the woman.
Oh. What would he do to protect them?
To tell her that she can go to work.
Oh. Instead of... What would they do to pregnant women if they knew she was pregnant? What would they do if they knew
They
she was
didn't
pregnant?
have, so they send you to Auschwitz.
Because they
didn't
don't have any use for
facilities.
pregnant women.
No.
So this doctor tried to protect her.
There were a couple
They
women
needed
who were pregnant.
Uh-huh.
And one worked in in the office.
Okay.
So what they did, when the baby was born, they took a pillow and smothered it.
Oh.
Otherwise she would lose her life too.
Who smothered it?
The people,
Which
the
people?
mother and her
Oh.
friend.
She had to smother her own baby?
Yeah.
Yes, otherwise she wouldn't live either.
Gosh. All right. Wow.
At least she lived and would have other children.
Yeah.
That's how they have to look
Yeah,
at it.
I guess so. Definitely.
I came to
You
glide
hold on to your
it.
life.
I came to glide it. You have to show that you can work something.
You always have to show you can work.
Otherwise they didn't have any
I
use
used to
for
work on
you.
the road. And I had a bulldozer who made the
Road?
road.
Okay.
So this wasn't a hydraulic brake. I had just my foot brake. Instead of going straight, I hit the curb. So the master took his shovel, hit me over the head, and broke my teeth.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Because you hit a curb?
Yes.
They would just use any excuse,
No.
really, to be able to hit you. Any excuse like that, they would just do it.
But I had to. I had a friend that said, you have to know how to do something. So
That are useful.
useful. I was a welder. So we built the factory, and I became a welder. I was useful.
Because you could build.
It was 12 hours a day. Women worked 3 times 8, men worked 12 hours shifts.
12-hour shift. So you would get up.
Sunday was one off.
Sunday was off. Okay. Monday through Saturday.
Yeah.
You would get up. What time would you get up?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock a.m. and go straight to the factory until 6 p.m. Lunch break? No.
Can you right now you
They
get
brought some soup, what was hardly a potato in it.
seaweed.
Seaweed? Seaweed and water?
You get so much bread for 24 hours. Mixed with
2
seaweed.
slices of bread.
For 24 hours.
So it's hard to so the guy said, I'm a welder, I'll teach you how to weld. This way you are somebody.
It's an important skill to know.
There used to come in some people, private Germans, to check the factories. He looked at me, he said, oh, young and a Jew. He felt so like I was.
He was 17 years old.
Yeah.
So he was very nice to me. He said, Bursche, Kleine Young,
That's it.
he has some bread for you.
Here's some bread for you.
He was pointing. He wasn't allowed to give it to him.
He left.
That he left it there.
Oh, so he would leave it there and say,
because I worked for him very well.
Okay.
We built a factory.
Who was this man?
The German.
The German. So were there some Germans who showed kindness?
Right.
Some, yes.
Yes.
As best they could. How do you guys
The
feel?
one who work as laborers, not the ones who will charge.
Right.
That's the difference.
Not the ones in charge. Oh. How did you feel about Germans, like as a whole, in general? Did you hate them? Did you
I don't have any love for them. Listen, we lost our parents, we lost everything, but you can't go on hating all your life.
Well, you forgot something.
What?
We walked in a big barn on walking. Everybody had some bread. So it's like a big barn. I come in, people sleeping in a big barn. Come to see Helen, somebody stole her bread.
Some stole her bread?
Yes, we were sleeping, put the bread when we were sleeping on the straw.
Okay.
And somebody, as I was sleeping, stole it.
Stole it.
I was sitting there and crying. I didn't have a piece of bread.
So I came and saw her and said, I took my half bread and I gave it to her.
And you gave her the bread?
You know what it means to be hungry, give her half bread?
Yeah. That's probably the nicest thing you can do.
A piece of dry bread. We are not talking about the sandwich.
Just one piece of dry bread, half your bread. That's the equivalent of 12 red roses.
We came to Gleiwitz, and we made the artificial rubber.
Yeah.
So I keep repeating myself. The guy said he had to be a welder. So I was somebody who could do some work.
But you didn't know how to weld. He went over to somebody, he said, teach me.
Teach me, yeah.
He showed him, and he caught on. So he was a welder. At least that you have that profession.
Yeah.
They had more respect for you.
So you kept working? Throughout the whole war, you kept working?
Oh, yeah.
And at what point did you guys get married? When did you meet again? Like did you get separated, or you stayed the whole time?
They sent us away. They sent us away because the camp.
The Russian liberated Helen.
I was liberated by the Russians.
Where were you when they liberated you?
In Germany, but part of Germany. Where was I?
Gleiwitz, in a work camp.
In a factory, yes.
Okay. And where were you?
And that part was taken over by
Russians.
By Russian. Where he was American or English. It was 3.
Where were you liberated from?
American.
Where? No, from where? Where were you?
I was in
Where were you?
I forgot.
Were you on a march?
Dortmund?
No.
Dortmund? Up in
Gleiwitz. In Gleiwitz I was.
I thought she was in Gleiwitz.
I was in that's when we met in Gleiwitz, through the fence.
But then you got separated at some point?
After they sent out because the Russians were coming, and they didn't want them to catch us. Okay. So they sent us out deep to Germany, and they separated. I don't know where he went.
No. We had wagons.
You had wagons?
For the German Wehrmacht.
Food for them. And we were walking. For 3 days we were walking.
This is a death march. This is one of the death march. They would just have you walk.
And after we slept in a movie house on the floor. And where else? 2 nights.
What do you mean after? After liberation?
No, that was before liberation.
Okay. They would just say, go in there, sleep there.
They needed our manpower, so we were walking for 3 days. And finally we came and they put us on a train. Why
didn't they put you on the train from the start? They wanted to make you walk.
Maybe they didn't.
Oranienburg in Germany.
Oranienburg, and I went to Ravensbrück.
Okay.
That was a woman's thing. And there were 36,000 inmates that time. We slept 5 in a bed like that wide, not even that wide.
Really? The size of the
2
table?
at the head and 3 at the. I'm telling you.
You would just sleep, one go that way, one go that way, and try try to make it work. So what were the death marches like?
You walk.
You just walk for 3 days.
Excuse me. You walk. When you go to the end, you don't keep up. You get shot in the head.
If you fall too far back.
That's right.
For 3 days.
So I had the wooden shoes. I kept on walking.
In these wooden shoes they give you.
And I fell. And I closed my eyes. I expected a shot in the head.
Because if you fall, they'll shoot you.
But from then, the war just ended.
But we didn't know.
We didn't know.
During one of the marches?
Marches, yeah.
And so where would the war ended?
A farmer found me and took me to the farm. Took my stripes and buried them. Gave me some civilian clothes. He was nice guy.
Yeah.
So I was in Bayreuth. Was a Jewish Gemeinde there.
Jewish what?
Jewish organization.
Okay.
Gemeinde means like
Uncle there and so on.
Gemeinde means in German a Jewish committee.
Okay. So I was there already, liberated, and Helen was going with her sister.
Cousin, I don't know her sister.
How? And I saw her.
Well, I was going with my cousin to visit somebody, and we had with no straight communication, so we stopped in Bayreuth.
This is after the war. Okay.
So we stopped in Bayreuth, and he came to the station to see me.
Okay. How long had you been separated at this point?
We saw each other. He used to take the train and come to see me, because it was just like 1 hour away.
For how long were you separated? When they separated you, how long until you saw each other again?
I don't know. Till we were liberated and till we found each other. I don't remember.
Half a year,
something 6 months or something till we found each other.
And then you would visit and begin a relationship?
He was in a different city. I was in a different city. And finally, he saved enough money that we got married. 300 marks.
300 marks? What year did you get married?
1947.
1947, 2 years after the war.
No, in the beginning it took 6 months or more till we found each other.
Okay.
We didn't even know if he's alive, he didn't know if I'm alive.
Because once you get separated, that's it for communication.
He was different. He was liberated by American. I was liberated by the Russian.
So when you guys saw the liberators, what was the feeling like?
We are free.
That's what had you been
we
hoping for?
We didn't have anything. I didn't have a pair of shoes. A German woman gave me a pair of shoes. In the first rain, I lost them because they didn't fit right.
Oh, you would just use whatever people gave you.
No, we didn't have anything.
I met her. I got her new shoes, new clothes.
No, you bought it for me. I didn't have shoes. I didn't have underwear. I didn't have anything.
And so you bought her these things.
Wooden shoes I was wearing.
What did the wooden shoes feel like? Were they just?
You tried to wear a wooden shoe.
I tried them on in Holland once.
Made out of wood.
It was hard.
It hurt.
No underwear.
What are the clothes? I saw the suit you had. You have the. Willie has the stripes. Yeah, a work suit. I guess.
Show you that?
What?
Can I show you the book?
Yeah, absolutely. At the Holocaust Museum, Willie has his old uniform there.
I don't know. We were lucky that we didn't get sick. If you got sick, your chances were very slim.
And that was
it. If you in a hospital, they didn't have anything for you to help you.
So when the Russians came in, you were in a work camp in that city. What had you given up at that point, or were you still holding out hope of something?
I was still holding out.
Were other people, what was the general mood? Were people both
Some
ways?
people were electrifying fences.
And they were trying to just climb them?
And some people went to the fence and it was electrified. I didn't do it. I had hope. I had a brother, a younger brother. I was hoping he stayed. I knew what happened to my parents.
You knew they were...
The liquidation of the ghetto. They sent them out to Auschwitz. I was born 1 hour away from Auschwitz.
My older brother was a dentist.
Your older brother was a dentist?
Made teeth in the prison camp for the Germans.
Really? Because he was useful to make teeth.
There were Ost student, West student. The Ost student were strong men.
Like
West student were the French, Jews.
Okay.
Couldn't stand the
We were more hardy.
Oh, the Eastern Europeans.
Right.
Yeah, they are hardier. They're tougher. Americans are the weakest.
So,
Not American, but
he was a
even
dentist. He made some
the
teeth
French
for the
did.
Germans.
We didn't have Americans. We had European Jews.
Yeah,
And
Eastern,
some
Western,
were
and Central.
much easier life than we had in Poland.
Mm-hmm.
So we were more hardy
Okay.
to withstand the bad things. I never missed. I didn't have food to eat when I was in Poland. I mean, at home.
Right.
But we didn't have as many luxuries like other countries.
So getting back to the fence, people would go touch the fence to commit suicide?
Some people.
That's how they would say, I don't want to do this anymore. And they
Some
would,
people jump from it. Used to be the pack room,
uh-huh.
4-story, 5-story high. Some people commit suicide.
would just jump off that. Because it was hopelessness. That's why. They were
Some
like, why?
people who were easier lives and they couldn't face it.
What did you think about the people who did that?
That was their choice.
Okay.
If it would get worse for us, maybe I would do the same, but I was young still. I was 16, 17 years old.
So, yeah, more youthful. When you saw the Russians,
It
you
didn't
just like...
matter to me. How long was I liberated? The
You were-
Russian didn't treat
were
us
afraid.
bad.
This is my book when I come in to the Holocaust Museum.
Helen William Luksenburg.
This is the lady, Sarah Bromford, who is in charge of it.
This is the identification card that is...
Yeah.
Is this you?
Yeah.
Helen Luksenburg. Okay, so at the Holocaust Memorial, they have these identification cards.
Yeah.
In my,
It's like there's a short story on each person, male and female. It says where they were born, April 4th, 1926. Hinda Chelowitz. Chelowitz.
There's a CH in Polish, is a H.
Oh, okay. Levitch. Okay. One is Sasniewicz, Poland. The eldest of 3 children. Are your other brothers and sisters?
I'm the only one who survived.
Only one who survived. William H. Luxemburg, February 1st, 1923. In Dąbrowa Górnicza, Poland.
Coal. Górnicza means coal.
Coal
Coal.
mines.
Oh,
We
was it
were
coal
born
town?
on coal mines.
Wow. Yeah, they have all these. It says this person tells the story of a real person. This card tells the story of a real person who lived during the Holocaust. And some people survived, and some people did not. You were married on March 2nd, 1947.
This is Helen when she was young.
Where is that picture from?
After the war,
That was after the war.
Somebody wrote a whole letter, remember.
This was you?
That's me.
Oh, you look like that. I thought this was that newscaster. You look like a newscaster from 60 Minutes.
yes.
What's his name? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, you look just like him. Maury Safer? Yeah, I thought that was him. I was like, what's Maury Safer doing on this card? I didn't understand. Wow, you look so different when you were younger.
Somebody wrote about me.
Remember, Words and Music by Sasha Simon. They wrote a song
poem.
about you?
Somebody wrote a poem about it.
We must always remember, we must never forget. Let me ask you a question, because I've heard this. My friend told me that he saw experiences of after the war, the people who never went to the camps, who sort of survived, the ones from England,
Right.
things like that. How did they treat the survivors of the Holocaust? Did they treat them? He said there was some like animosity.
Who?
No.
I don't know if that's completely not true. I have no idea.
No.
There was none.
I don't.
How did the others treat you? Especially like when you came to America. How did they?
People were, some were not very outgoing and some just I'm sorry. You are a survivor. I'm glad you are alive.
Just
That's
like
all.
okay.
My wedding,
In 1947.
the thing was made from parachute.
Made from what?
Parachute. You know parachute?
Parachute? Oh, your dress was made out of parachute?
Yeah. They came 1949.
Came to America
Okay.
on a boat.
That's right.
How long did the boat take?
9 days.
9 days on a boat from...
And we were separated.
On the boat you were separated?
Yes.
Why?
Men separated and women separated.
Married doesn't matter?
We were married.
And they separated you anyway for 9 days. What were the conditions like in the boat? You seem happy.
We didn't
It
speak
wasn't
English.
luxury. It was like
We didn't speak English.
Oh,
the boats what were bringing the American occupation
yeah.
to Europe. America there were 3 countries
Yeah.
who were in charge of Europe.
Okay.
English, Russian, and Americans.
Okay.
We were under the Americans. Thing.
Okay. When they split up Russia, when they split
That's
up
right.
Europe. Okay.
You have to know the history.
So, you got married, decided to move to America. What was it like after you got liberated? Was there a time that the DP camps, were you in those?
No, I refused to go to a camp. I was long enough in a camp. So we went on our own.
I wouldn't even think of that. You went on your own. And how would you start? You had nothing, right?
Because the UJA
United Jewish Appeal. What would they
was
do?
giving food.
Okay.
And they were giving us clothes, not whatever, like
Whatever they had.
UJA people
It's
give
like
clothes.
Goodwill.
Yeah,
Okay.
Goodwill.
Okay.
That's how we live.
And so they gave you clothes, and they started, and you could find a job, or how would you get on with your
Who
life?
wanted to work for the Germans?
So how would you survive afterwards?
The UJA
All of
was
the UJA.
giving us $30 a week,
$30 a week. Was that enough?
30 marks.
30 marks. Was that enough to find an apartment or to find a place to stay?
They gave us living quarters.
This is the
This is my stripes.
this is your stripes,
That I brought from America.
your work jacket, and this is in the Holocaust Memorial now.
Right.
How did this feel when you wore it every day?
Rough.
It looks rough. It looks thick and rough.
Yes.
Looks like it's made out of concrete.
I was wearing a dress. The dress was a little bit softer.
Okay.
The man had the jacket.
And it would button down. Only the jacket was buried by the farmer who found him. Only the lice, which Luksenburg had nourished for weeks, died in the rough fibers. Because one day he waited for the explosion from the guard's pistol, and then the silence. So you were, which would put an end to the walking.
It's my clock.
Oh, okay.
Every hour.
Every hour it does that?
Exactly
That
an
would,
hour.
that would drive me crazy.
11 o'clock.
So on this death march, you fell, knew, I fell. That's it.
That's it.
And you closed your eyes and waited.
Farmer found me. Started giving me food.
How long were you down there for?
I threw up. I couldn't eat anymore.
You couldn't eat because you were so
And
weak.
we were separated.
Yeah. And so he fell. He did not feel human until he fell, and in that instant he knew his was human life. All at once the possibility and inevitability flooded the wasteland within. He believed his knowing would end just as suddenly as he heard and saw it come and go many times before. Those who could not move fast enough, or those who fell in the river of jackets, flowing like blood from a gunshot wound. Where the fallen, punished, or liberated from the fate of the rest would watch each other choke or burn. He was not silenced. Instead, with his face pressed to the earth, he heard footsteps fading. Recuperated, he returned to the jacket's grave the farmer had made. It was not time to hide his suffering. He found it would never be time, as he lived and grew and raised his children, to see it, to touch it, to believe it. So you saved this jacket.
Yeah, he has to.
You brought it with you to America. You dug it up from that farmer.
He
I'm
gave
the
it.
only one.
And he buried it because of the
That's
lice.
on loan from Poland.
It's on loan from Poland?
Yeah.
Wow.
Only my jacket. I donated.
Wow.
It's in the Holocaust Museum.
Yeah, I saw it. I was there yesterday. I drove with them, actually. It's mementos to preserve the record of anguish. This
To
is New
show
York
you the
Times,
relief.
1989.
Huge. Like,
And this is your ticket from on the Hamburg America line?
right.
So you went from Hamburg to America in 9 days.
Bremerhaven, not Hamburg.
So,
From Bremerhaven.
Bremerhaven? Tourist class on the St. Louis. March 13th, 1939.
No. March.
What is this? Oh, this was the SS St. Louis.
This is New York Times.
We came here.
This was not yours. This was the SS St. Louis.
Yes.
Okay. The SS St.
That's
Louis.
the one what from Germany.
For the people who don't know, the SS St. Louis, it was this tourist. They left Germany. They were trying to find refuge.
Right.
They went to Havana, Cuba. The Cubans, they thought they had a place to go, and the Cubans, in the meantime, said, "No, we're not accepting your visas."
That's right.
I know.
So they had to sit, telling for the people because they don't know. I know you know. And then they went to America, to Miami. Miami said no, and they had to go
Isn't
back
that a shame? They didn't let them in.
because they had strict immigration policies, and they were like, "We cannot
They
take
went
you."
send them back to Germany.
And all the people were all
Yeah, I went back to Germany.
back into the Holocaust. Wow, they did a New York Times article on you in 1989.
This is me.
Which one were you?
No, not me.
This as a baby?
Yeah.
This is
My
pre-war.
brother was a dentist. He lost his job because
Not here in the picture.
You were what, 2 or 3 years old there?
4 years old.
How did this picture survive?
From his uncle in Israel.
in Israel.
Oh,
He lived in Haifa.
okay.
And
They
found
made
out the picture.
copies.
He had made Aliyah before that,
Yes.
before the war.
A lot of people in Poland who
Yeah,
were Zionists,
yeah.
they belonged to Zionist organizations and they went to Palestine.
I know there's a big immigration in 1933 and 1939. And
No,
1949.
it wasn't that time legal immigration. When his uncle left in the 20s, it wasn't legal.
It was illegally.
They went belonged to a Zionist organization, and
Yeah.
they sent them out as a group to work there. It wasn't so easy,
Yeah.
but they went legally, and they remained there.
You got some extra ones?
What?
Got some extra ones?
What extra?
Ones?
Of
Here.
these?
I don't have extra.
Yes, we do.
No, it's okay. If you don't have extra, I'm not taking one. There's so few of these.
Some extra.
So let me think what else I wanted to ask you. First of all, it's amazing that you guys met in a work camp.
Right.
That's the most romantic thing I've ever heard in my life.
This little girl
Yeah.
who was Jewish soldiers in Passover, she stood in line to the gas chambers. She says to Eichmann, she said, my soul will haunt you the rest of the day. You never heard
She
the
was
peace."
in line in Auschwitz
In line at the gas chamber.
with her mother,
Yeah.
and she went over. She spoke German
Okay.
and Polish and Yiddish, and she was 10 years old, and she said to the German,
My soul will haunt you the
"My
rest of the
soul will haunt you after I'm gone."
My soul will haunt you after I'm gone.
So he got scared.
He left to go.
She said, "Get out."
Really?
She
In
let her
German,
out?
get out. She said, "Ich habe hier eine Mutter, I have a mother." So he said, "Take your mother
The mother.
with you," and
Really?
they both survived. That's
They both survived.
Those
Who?
Jewish soldiers in a big Nazi house. Captain Cooley was the governor of
These are Jewish soldiers?
Yes,
In what army?
America.
an American
American
army. We were occupied
That's me.
by the Americans.
That's me and Helen.
Oh, wow.
That's me sitting here.
During the American occupation.
He was the governor.
How were the Jewish soldiers?
Oh, they're very kind. They tried. They brought us candy and things.
Whatever they could. Celebration of life by those left for dead. Another Washington Post article. Oh, this is the Washington Post. The other one's New York Times.
This is my grandpa, that's my grandma. Before the war.
They were killed.
No, they died.
They died.
Before the war.
Before the war. Okay.
This one, we got the 50th anniversary from the Clinton.
The White House gave you a...
Yeah.
Bill and Hillary Rodham Clinton gave you, pleased to extend to both of you our warmest congratulations on your wedding anniversary. As you mark this milestone in your marriage, you have our best wishes for a joyous celebration. May your love for each other continue to grow in the years ahead. From the White House. Wow.
This is my mother when she was young.
That picture was in Israel.
And
In my mother,
Your mother was killed in the war? Okay.
in my mother's picture, I have from my uncle. She had a brother in France.
I'm amazed when pictures survive like this. I'm amazed that
He
that
was in
managed to-
France. He
yeah.
was in hiding. This was in Israel, in Palestine.
This was taken in Israel? Or the picture was in Israel?
It was
Okay.
sent to Palestine.
Okay, that's where it survived.
This is my tombstone.
Not you,
It's
Thompson.
your tombstone. What do you mean? Who's
Your grandfather's.
Nehemiah Feiner.
Nehemiah Fine? Okay. It's in Hebrew.
Maiden name is Feiner. Helen's maiden name is Feiner.
Oh,
Not
Fine?
my name.
No, your mother's maiden name. Okay. Once you got I wanted to know this. Once you got in the camps, and once you sort of realized that they were taking people away and killing them. Once you, did you get to a moment where you accepted like this?
Every time I sit, the truck came from Auschwitz and took them away to Auschwitz.
Yeah, but was there a time when you didn't, like before you realized, okay, they were taking people away to kill them? Once you accepted that they were doing that, did it change for you in your mind of how you lived or how you know?
You have a choice.
You had no choice.
Otherwise, you commit suicide.
Yeah,
People
that's
went to
it.
the electric fence
Yeah,
and
yeah.
committed suicide. I wasn't strong enough. I was just 16 years
This is
old.
Helen's mother here. And to the Noska.
That was Helen's mom?
Yeah. It's Helen's mother, right here.
That's my grandfather's tombstone.
Okay.
That's
That's
our
our
wedding.
wedding.
Do you guys, let me see how long we've gone just so I can tell. Okay, we're not very perfect. Do you guys take any lessons from the Holocaust? Or is it just completely senseless? My feeling is there's nothing good that comes out of it. It's just bad.
Sure.
You have to remember. That's all.
And why do you think it's important to remember?
To help people to be aware that can happen again, to fight back.
Yeah.
You have to remember.
They always told us, I grew up in Jewish school at JDS and
Helen's
Hebrew Academy.
brother died from hunger in prison camp.
Died from hunger in a prison
He
camp.
was 16 or 17 years old.
Yeah.
I am the only one
died
from
of
my
fun.
family.
You knew when he died?
Not exactly.
They told you later.
In Markstedt, someplace.
Yeah, they always told me
This
that
is the
when I grew
uncle-
up, they say never forget, you always
The
have to
uncle
remember, but
was
they never
saved by
told us
Christian
why.
church
He
in
was,
France.
he was saved by a Christian church?
That's how she got the picture.
The picture was saved by the Christian church. Okay.
Oh, my uncle, he was hidden in Paris.
In a Christian church?
Yeah.
I don't know where exactly.
Stolen rings.
Teeth and also the hair from mattresses.
This is an article about all the rings, just boxes and boxes of rings. They took from
Sure, they
people.
took everything away. I had a wedding band, they took it off.
They took it. Why'd you have a wedding band? Whose wedding band?
Mine. I was married in 1947. No, I had a wedding, not a wedding band. I had a ring
Or just a ring?
with the
Okay.
rubies on it. My uncle was a goldsmith, and he
Yeah.
gave me for my birthday. They took
Yeah.
it off.
It's weird. It's like when I hear about it. I went to the museum yesterday with you, and it seems the way I was raised in America. That seems so out of my thought. Like that it could even
We
happen.
have a Ku Klux Klan here in America.
Yeah, but I never see them. I'm not met with this kind of horror. I don't see this kind of horror ever. So it's
We
hard to
have a
even
Ku
wrap my
Klux
head around.
Klan in America.
How do you feel about people like that?
So the same thing as it.
I don't think
The same thing in a lower
people
scale.
didn't read. It was the war. Hitler came to power in 1933,
Yeah,
and we knew, and we read the newspaper. A lot of people in America didn't know what was going on. They didn't read the papers even.
right. And so
Because
how could
if
they even know
somebody
that?
would talk. Why didn't they? Hitler came to power how many years? And after the war broke out.
Somebody I met in I work now, museum.
Thank you for sharing experiences with me. It's from a child?
A young woman.
Young woman. I just want to sincerely thank you for sharing your stories, memories, and experiences with me. So you volunteer at the Holocaust Memorial? What do you do there?
Every Monday.
And you just tell people their story?
They have our stories.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like this is sort of happening. This is sort of happening still on smaller scales in Rwanda and in other places.
It does.
He was my family here. I brought the books.
Where is this?
He wrote these different kinds of stories.
The Norse Contours of the person in Auschwitz. Who is this? Your friend?
No, my mother's family.
This is your mother's family? Yeah, he held the North, and he survived.
Yeah.
Did you find relatives after the war? Did you try to find people, or how did you find people?
I had,
or to see
my
if they
mother
were.
had
When you used to travel, you used to leave the name. And people would talk, this is the life.
So-and-so's alive.
Yeah.
And so they would say, here's my name, I'm going this place, but if anybody comes that knows me, please tell them I'll be back. Or
No. You just put the Jewish committees.
Yeah.
They had a list, and you put your name on a list, and it was on the wall. And that's how people found out.
Yeah.
Because we were spread out all over.
Yeah, all over Europe.
So people came, and they looked at the list, and if they knew somebody, they got in touch with you, because it tells you where you are.
Okay. And that's how they helped reunite people.
Then the Jewish
And that's how you found each other afterwards?
How did you find each other? I
We
don't
went to Hof with you.
Well,
To Hof.
yes, it was a gathering,
Uh-huh.
and I saw him, his cousin, and he was there too. So he said he didn't let me go back.
Yeah.
So we got together. But
He was like,
we
"You have
met
to stay
in
here."
concentration camp through the fence.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he survived. He didn't know if I survived.
But you like each other.
Yes.
That's an amazing place to meet. Yeah, this picture of shoes, they have this,
Yeah, this is from the
it's just
museum.
all shoes at the museum. It's just all these old leather shoes. And it's just thousands of them. It really,
They took away the shoes. We didn't have shoes to wear.
it shows, because it's like you can imagine somebody putting on a shoe and lacing it up. You can imagine that, and then they're just gone. They're just taken away. You only...
That's why it's important that people should know. You never know,
That's what we wrote now.
and to be aware.
How did you feel about humanity in general afterwards?
Where was humanity that they didn't speak up?
Where was God?
Where was God?
But what do you think? I mean,
People didn't.
where was humanity? Why wouldn't they?
I'm very disappointed.
Yeah. That they wouldn't do anything, that they had problems of, they wouldn't change the immigration policy to allow victims in, that they wouldn't.
Even the
My
Jewish
mother said
people,
such an intelligent.
they followed still like.
My mother couldn't understand such an intelligent people like Germany. How
Yeah.
could they do it?
Yeah.
Wagner and all this.
It was just public sentiment just
My
changed
mother
so hard.
admired Germans. She said they are the smartest and most intelligent people.
Berlin was the center of academia, right? For the longest time.
That's right.
And then it just became full of hatred.
That's right.
Hitler made them.
Hitler
And
made them.
some people were afraid of him, Germans himself.
It's hard to be the only one to say, I'm going to do different.
Well, I keep on telling people that education is the main thing.
Education.
Yeah. This is my son.
This is your family now. You've made a full family here. Which one's your son? This one?
He's the director of the
Of the what?
blood.
The blood drive?
At the, what is it? The health department.
Oh, okay.
The blood department.
And this is your family.
Yeah.
You made a full family here. How many children do you have?
3.
3 children. How many grandchildren?
5.
Wow. You guys met in the Holocaust at a concentration camp. You got married and started a family in America.
Yeah.
Man.
I got some extra ones. Let me take a look.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I wouldn't know what other humans would do too, how they could not put a stop to it.
This is my daughter.
Which one?
This one.
This one.
This is my daughter-in-law. She's not Jewish.
Okay.
That's my son. He's a doctor.
Do you care about that she's not Jewish?
I did care, but they don't have children, so
That doesn't matter.
doesn't hurt as much.
Right.
And these are my 3 grandchildren, from my son. No, my daughters. Amy has 3 boys. Harvey doesn't have any children. So it's all right because I don't know if they would be Jewish or not.
Right.
They
But your
have 2
grandchildren
kids.
either way.
Yeah. We have 5 grandchildren. They have 2.
Helen, how did you feel about God afterwards?
I was questioning, where's God?
Do you believe? Do you not believe? Do you hate? Do you love?
I still have, I'm not sure.
I know a lot of people, I know a big experience was I still believe in God, but I hate him for what he...
I don't say I hate him, but I don't know. Where was God?
Where was God?
To wipe out 6 million Jews.
6 million.
And everybody said, with God, when they went to the ovens,
Yeah.
they prayed to God.
Please help me. And he never answered any prayers.
So,
Very few. People don't understand too. I saw this at the museum. 6 million. It's sort of a number you can't really understand. But then you see there's only 9 million total in Central and Eastern Europe. So it's 2 out of every 3 people. If you have a family of 6 people,
we
hopefully
were
2
3
survive before
children.
dying.
My mother came from 11 brothers and sisters.
11 brothers.
Only 1 survived who lived in France.
1 out of 11. And he lived in France, and that's the only way
how
to
many
survive.
grandchildren were? 6 of us who survived. From the grandchildren, from 11 brothers and sisters.
6 survived. And that was considered lucky that 5 of your brothers and sisters were...
I had just 2 brothers, a brother and a sister. We were 3. But my mother had, there were 5 sisters and 6 brothers.
Could you make friends during the work camps? Besides Willie, could you make friends? Could you talk at all while you were doing the work?
That's always kept us going.
You could talk.
I can find you.
What? What are you looking for?
He's looking for the identification cards from the
All right.
Holocaust Memorial.
Find Helen.
What?
I can find you.
It's all that you don't find it.
It's okay, I know.
You can have it.
Thank you, Willie. Do you have any, to the people going to listen to this later, do you have anything to tell them? Any words of wisdom? Or, I really don't think there's anything to come from it.
It's very important that people are aware what's going on. A lot of people in America, Jewish people I'm talking about, didn't even know what's going on in Europe.
Didn't even hear about it. I don't listen to the news. I don't watch the news.
Everybody has to be aware and know and watch the newspapers. If they don't know how to read English, they were Jewish papers to read. Some people didn't even know how to read even Jewish either.
Yeah.
But you have to be, you could listen to the radio.
Yeah. What could they have done if they knew? At least put pressure.
To speak up.
Do what you can. Say something.
Go and to how you said, to protest.
Yeah. when I know they have Obama as our president right now, and he's always fighting with people. Should they send troops to Libya to help protect?
And people go and
people say no, we don't. It's a bad economy, or whatever. But my feeling, especially after I left that museum yesterday, I'm like, if there's people dying, if there's innocent people dying, we have to go. We have to.
You have to speak
We have to go
up.
and help them.
That's right.
So our economy gets worse. Yeah, that's bad. But what can we do? Let people die? They're fellow humans.
Nobody can. Even a lot of Jewish people here in America didn't even know what's going on in Europe.
Didn't even know.
They didn't even read the papers.
And was it in the papers? All the
Sure
horror?
it was.
Do you
Jewish papers had it.
So you resent them for not getting involved a little bit?
Yes, because
how could you not?
people should speak up.
Yeah.
They were killed 6 million people. I'm the only one from my family who survived. He's the only one from his.
That's right.
And no one stopped it. Chief of Blood Diseases Branch, National Lung and Heart Blood Institute. Yeah, you made a family. It's great that you survived.
I went and demonstrated for the Russian Jews.
Yeah, they wouldn't let them out for a long time. I remember that. I did that when I was
And I
little.
went and demonstrated each time. And finally they let them
Finally
out.
let them out.
So you have to do something
Yeah.
to speak up. So if they would arrest me, so they put me for 2 days in the prison. I wasn't afraid.
They said at the outside of the memorial, what does it say? Remember what you saw here? And then what does it say in the
I
small
don't
letters?
remember, but I don't go too often.
It says
Too
next time,
painful.
next time you see hatred, next time you see, inequality, remember what you saw.
You have to know what's going on and to speak up. You can't be protected
Yeah.
because somebody else is being.
There's a wrong being done to someone else.
And if nobody speaks up, the bad guys go ahead and do more and more.
Yeah, it's very easy just to do nothing.
Yes. I am angry at people Jewish people
That did nothing.
they didn't do nothing.
I'd be angry
America, Jewish people didn't know much.
too. They didn't
even
be angry
know.
too, but some knew.
I came to America.
Some read the papers.
They didn't even know. They called me greener. I was the greener.
What does that mean?
Green, it means that you just beginning.
Green.
Oh, green, like you're a beginner,
Yes.
and they just weren't aware of what you had to go through.
Took out my number.
Because you didn't want to tell people and talk to people.
He has the number.
Yeah.
But I
Sorry.
took it out because when I wear strength, I don't want anybody to feel
Sure.
sorry for me.
Yeah.
And some people don't even know what it was.
Some people have no idea.
They didn't even know what we were going on. They were worried they didn't have enough sugar here.
Yeah. Something silly compared.
I had to laugh when I heard these stories.
Yeah, sometimes I think about it, I feel bad for what I have. I feel guilty almost that I didn't have to go through what you guys went through.
That's right. You're lucky.
But
I mean, I didn't do
but
anything to
complaining
deserve
that they
a
didn't.
nice life in Maryland,
But can you imagine
complaining about sugar.
that they didn't have enough sugar? We didn't have bread to eat, dry bread. I used to sleep, have a piece of bread, and when I slept, put it under my head. And by the time I woke up, somebody stole it.
Another one of the Jews.
What do people realize it was? I was 17 years old. I was left alone.
It shouldn't have to happen. That's an injustice. Yeah.
I used to go and protest when they kept the Russian Jews. I stood there. I wasn't afraid if they'd arrest me.
No. Okay.
The American Jews didn't do enough.
They didn't do enough.
That's
I would agree with you. I would agree with you. They shouldn't
They
have
complained
stopped.
they didn't have enough sugar.
It wasn't that people were being kept in poverty. It was that people were being killed and
Ignorant.
tortured. Ignorant of what was happening.
They didn't read the papers. They didn't know. Some didn't know how to read.
I saw an interview at the museum with a French woman, a non-Jewish woman.
Right.
You've seen this? And she was talking about her mother,
Yeah.
and she was saying they hid people.
Sure.
And she was saying, yeah, we'd be killed, I guess, if they found out, or we'd be put in prison. But how we couldn't live with ourselves if we didn't
But
do
not
anything.
many people felt.
Not many people did feel like that. People look out for themselves, I guess. Just like those police in the Jewish police in the work camps, in the ghettos. I guess you look out for yourself, and then it didn't help in the end.
They wanted to. They thought that when they become a policeman, they would protect the families.
Yeah.
They couldn't protect them. They went the same way.
They were just too powerful, the Germans.
See, we gave a lot of money for the museum, $50,000.
To the Holocaust Museum.
Museum.
Zachor, to remember.
I remember, yeah. That's the only one word I remember saying at all synagogues. Zachor, just remember, and everyone knows what you're talking about.
We
Just
came.
remember.
We don't have a memorial, nothing. So to have their names on the wall in the museum.
Memory of the parents.
They don't have a grave, nothing.
Do you? Oh yeah. Do you go to the museum, or you can't?
Yeah, I do.
You go. You volunteer there every Monday.
I go too. But I didn't go lately because I don't like to sit there by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't have somebody, it's lonely to sit there by
Yeah,
myself.
sure.
But I will go back.
Have you guys gone back to Poland since then?
She
He
did.
never did.
I never.
You
I went.
How old were you when you went back?
I was how old? 18, 19?
Okay, and how?
It was very hard.
Yeah.
It was painful. I went.
Did you go see your old home, or where did you go?
Yes, I did.
I never went back.
You never.
They didn't even know who I am.
No. Why did you never go back? You never wanted to, really?
He didn't want to.
Anti-Semitic.
Poland what?
Anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitic. Yeah.
I lived in a bigger city, so there was more Jews.
So less anti-Semitic. In small towns, just like in
Not
America.
less.
Few
but-
Jewish people when
In America, it's the same way. Smaller the town, the more racist it is. Generally. It's not
We
completely
were
right.
30,000 Jews in the city.
30,000 Jews. Do you know how many
And
survived?
120,000 population in
No,
the city.
a quarter of the city. Oh, that's giant.
Yes.
It's giant for
Oh, we
1%
had
of the
synagogues,
world.
everything. I went to Jewish schools, public school, but it was all Jewish.
Do you know how many survived of the 30,000?
Some
With an
from
unknown-
our place more survived than the rest of the Polish.
Really?
Because the German came out right away. I was born on the Polish-German border,
Yeah.
and the Germans needed us.
Yeah, so they put you to work.
So we worked in factories. Our parents were sent to Auschwitz. But the young people, some of us survived.
When they kill people, do they take them away immediately, or do they just leave them there?
No, they took them, we never seen them again.
So you don't have to smell dead bodies?
No, they sent them to Auschwitz.
But the people that were killed, the people that were hanged, you said, during
Yes,
the work,
we had to go and look at it.
they would just stay
They
there.
forced us to look, but they were hanging.
Mendy's parents, they hanged.
I know, but he was in Shannon.
Mandy's parents, who was...
No, a
somebody you
friend,
know?
a cousin of ours. His parents were, but he was in a different city. We didn't see. But they made us in our ghetto
Watch
To watch.
to go and watch.
the hanging. They made it, watch it actually happen?
No, we didn't.
Afterwards.
watch it.
Actually happened in Sosnovich.
You saw it actually happen in Sosnovich?
I saw them hanging, but I didn't go watch how they hanged
They
them.
made you see.
They
were
made you
children.
go and look.
You were children when they made you watch.
Yes,
You were an adult, you were 15,
16. I was.
16. Okay. Well, thank you guys very much. I really appreciate you talking to me.
Okay.
I don't mind to talk. Some people don't want to talk, but
I'm sure.
to teach that people should be aware and to have your ears and eyes open and read the news.
Humans are capable of this. It wasn't 1,000 years ago. This was 65 years ago.
That's right.
It was going on 67
Some people
years
don't
ago. It's
even
still
to
going in the middle of
read
it.
about it. You have to.
I had the longest time for a while. I wouldn't go to the museum because it was like, I don't want to have to face this. I don't have to think about it.
No, for the future
But I think you have to.
They have to know. Sometimes history repeats itself.
It's solemn. It's
Ku Klux Klan too.
America what?
And Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, we do have the Klan.
That's it.
It's a very similar situation.
That's right.
It's just hate and torture and hardship
What
because
in
of race.
America?
Ku Klux Klan.
The Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, the Ku Klux.
Yeah, the stuff. People are still capable of horrible things.
But you have to be involved. You have to know what's going on. You have to read the newspapers. Not to say, I don't know I don't want to know. That's not
No.
an excuse.
Yeah, you don't want to know. It's still happening.
How
so.
will you know history? How do you know what's going on if you don't read the
I
newspapers?
saw a boy at the museum, and there's a part where there's a train car.
Right.
You can walk through a train car and touch a train car and see what it's like. And it's not like the train cars we have today. And his mother was telling them they all had to go in here without anything and get pushed off when they were at Auschwitz or wherever they were. And he was like, well, did they take radios with them? And she goes, no, they didn't have radios back then. And he was like, well, did they take money with them so they could have later? She goes, no, they couldn't take anything. And he's like, why? What do you mean? How could you not take anything? What about putting stuff in your pocket? And this kid, and he was 8 years old, he couldn't wrap his head around the idea that you can't take anything. And you have to sit here for days in this horrible, hot, and completely dark. There was these little tiny windows and they would shut them.
You see, we were lucky with open cattle train.
You were lucky what?
We went on open cattle trains.
Open cattle trains.
The people in this way, somebody died, defecate,
No.
throw overboard.
Oh, you could get rid of it.
That's snow, we ate snow.
We ate snow.
You ate snow. You reached out?
No.
Oh, it was snowing.
Oh.
Open cattle trains, so we gathered the snow from each other's
From
arms.
your skin, and that's how you would drink the
Yes,
snow?
3 days.
I was eating snow.
For 3 days. You were on a cart for 3 days?
Yeah.
And with no food?
No
and no
food,
water.
no.
So you got lucky because you were able to
Some
gather snow off your skin.
Some people jumped and got killed.
A lot of people jumped and some were killed.
Did anybody survive a jump like that?
Some survived, maybe.
Alinka survived.
Did she jump? Yeah, not that
they-
pushed her.
And nobody got her. Nobody captured her when she was
Some of them got captured.
or killed or shot.
Yeah. Some were
My
lucky.
cousin was told she jumped.
Did you have to? My father was telling me you had to do something where you had to push rocks up a hill.
That's what I did.
What was that?
I broke my rib.
What was it? What was happening?
I was working at a stone quarry.
In a stone quarry, okay.
And the stone quarry, the wagon going down, so some Russian couldn't eat. He ate. So a Russian would eat it. That
Horse.
Dead
No.
horse.
anything.
They would eat of course, you did anything you could if you had enough food.
But I was going down the hill and have to put the lorry away because the next one was coming.
Put the what away?
Lorry is a stone quarry
Okay.
on a small railroad track.
Oh, it was in railroad track. Okay, so you put the stones in this like a cart,
And,
a lorry.
and I couldn't move fast enough. The lorry came and broke my ribs.
Oh, and another cart would come down and break
And
the
it grew back together. You can still feel it until it's broken.
Oh
It
wow!
healed by itself.
Because you couldn't, if it got too bad,
No.
you were finished.
My
They would send him to
my
Auschwitz.
ribs
Yeah.
go like this.
Your ribs are at an angle, at a 90-degree angle, because they broke and nobody set them. They just set themselves. It's like living in caveman times. No medical attention. Just if hopefully it
Not medical attention, they kill you.
It's the opposite of medical attention if they find out.
That's why some people don't want to talk about it. But I want that the future generation should know, to be aware, to have their eyes and ears open, to know what's going on.
I like hearing people, their firsthand speech. I don't like as much reading people's accounts. I like hearing their words. And there's a place in the museum too where you can hear people talk for a while and just say their experience.
Yes, some people can't talk about it.
But that audio will be there for in 100 years. People will still have access to that now.
You're in the museum.
I am in.
You're talking,
You're one of the people talking?
Mm-hmm.
What were you talking about in the museum? People have me go there.
About my life.
Yeah. There's these short, paragraph or
for
two paragraphs.
future generation, they should. History repeats itself. People should. Some people say, I don't want to read. I can't. It breaks my heart. That's no answer.
Yeah.
I lived through it and I survived.
Yeah, the difference between I left there going, it's the first time I understood the word horrible, where it's just horrific, the things
I know
that we're going
horrific.
through. And it's I felt so bad for each individual story I heard. I felt so bad, but then I didn't have to go through anything. That was me feeling horrible on a Monday afternoon in Washington D.C. on a 75-degree day.
And you know at least about it.
Yeah.
Although it hurts.
I'll find an extra one for Helen. Sometime I'll find it in the museum. I'm going to give you file again.
Okay. One of her identification cards. I'm going to scan this and put it online so people can see it when they next to the audio.
You can scan it. I got here still.
Well, I don't have a scanner right now. I don't have a scanner on me.
You want a scanner?
No, I don't have a scanner.
You don't have a scanner?
I have one back there. My parents might have one. But yeah, I would love that.
I can give you one. I have to return it though.
Okay, I can mail it back to my father. He can give it back to you. Sure.
They have them in the museum, no?
They give you one of these at the museum before you
That's it.
before you go in.
That's good. There's only two of them. That's it.
They ask you to take it with you and look at it. It's really helpful for me. I know for a lot of people just to see an individual.
This man you can keep. This I can put it back.
Okay, I'll send it back to you.
This one you can, the man.
The yours you can keep. Okay. I'll send this back to my father. We'll give this back to you, the Helens. Yeah, when you see it happen to an individual, some of these survived and some people didn't. It was just a story of one person. And then you times...
Mine you can keep, but this you have to give to the father.
Why? Can I get one in the museum? No?
Yeah, you don't have enough.
They don't have.
I'll send it back. I'll definitely send it back.
No, the one for me,
yours I keep.
I got lots of.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much. I guess, never forget.
What's your first name?
My name's Ari.
Ari, that's right.
Yeah. Ari Shaffir.
And the youngest one?
No, my oldest sister is the oldest, and then me, and my little brother, and my little sister.
Oh. You're four.
And we never had to go through anything like this. We never had to
live in California?
I live in California now.
And your parents were born here too?
No, my dad was born in Iași, in Hungary, Romania.
Oh.
My mother was born there.
That's your dad?
That's my father, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
But he was born when? During the war?
In Israel, though.
A little. He moved to Israel after the war. He was born before the war in Hungary, Romania. But they didn't come till... What?
He was speak Hebrew.
Very little. That's very little I could say. I wish I knew more. I lived there for a couple of years, but... Yeah. What do you guys think now? And then we'll go, I guess. But could you imagine? I mean, you live in an apartment. You have 5 grandkids and 3 kids. Back then, could you...
Educated.
All educated. You live in a place where you can control the thermostat.
That's right.
With a touch of a button. Could you have imagined anything like this?
At the time, no.
Nothing, even close.
Didn't even know if we'll survive.
You were just hoping to survive. Did you think? Was there any moment where you thought, I'm probably not going to survive? I'll probably not make it through.
Never didn't cross even my mind. Life was going on. What happened, I didn't know next day.
How about you, brother?
Same thing.
Same thing.
He was even in better, worse shape than I.
You went three different camps? Which camps were you
And
in?
he had tuberculosis. I was never sick.
You were never sick.
I'm a
I was
very
sick.
strong individual.
You might be a
Never.
superhero. You might not even know it. You might be Superman's
And-
daughter.
Sick.
You were had tuberculosis, you had a broken rib, and you never let it get lice.
Oh,
boils.
they were eating
no,
up.
No teeth.
No teeth? Are those fake teeth?
No, no teeth. That's my real
Oh, you did? Those are not your real teeth?
No.
You lost your teeth.
I didn't.
You kept them.
See what happened.
You're indestructible, Helen.
What happened? The German have a marching
Yeah.
their own kitchen. So they give Pelkartoffel. The German got the potatoes.
Peel potatoes.
Good potatoes.
They rolled it down toward me. I looked at hungry guy. I ran to get the
They rolled it towards you?
potatoes toward me.
They were walking and pushing, some people were pushing the wagon, the food for the Germans. So a potato rolled down.
would fall off.
So he ran after it, so they hit him and broke his
With my
teeth.
teeth.
Because you ran
Because
after
he
a potato,
wanted
they
to
hit
pick
you in
up
the
the
face.
potato.
What'd they hit you with?
But from the gun.
The butt of a gun.
Cut me here, here, here.
And knocked your teeth out.
I don't have teeth.
Because you were going after a potato that fell on the ground.
That's
That they
right.
wouldn't eat anyway. Once it fell on the ground.
What do people
It
know?
was just sadism. It was just it was sadistic.
That's why I don't mind to give them, because people don't realize.
No, they don't realize.
They don't,
They don't realize the
any
individual, everyday.
They don't
horrible
have
things.
any idea you didn't have enough food. A piece of bread was, I kept under my, went to sleep and somebody stole it from under my head.
I can hear.
Dry piece of bread.
I can hear your words, but I can't really wrap my head around the feeling of not having
Bread.
even bread. Yeah, bread's not even a meal. It just goes. It's supposed to just go with the meal.
I
You
never
couldn't
even
even-
ate bread with the meal.
Beforehand, they're like, why bother?
Sometimes don't believe that I will live through. I had a brother, I had a sister, I had parents, I had cousins. My mother came from 11 brothers and sisters. 6 of us, the grandchildren, survived. Now we are 4. 2 died normal death. From a family of 100 people that lived.
It's so sad. It's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
What? Our children, we named our children after our parents, after our brothers,
You maybe took after your brothers. You shouldn't have to do that.
my sister. And some people don't even want to talk about it.
No, I understand that too, though. But I'm glad you guys did. This will be around.
No, that's why people have
After
to
all
know.
Yeah.
History repeats itself.
At least we got lucky enough that we can record these things. It wasn't happening in the 1700s. It happened in the 1900s. So we can at least get accounts down. There's at least some video, some audio.
You should see it. My rib go like this.
Is it up? Is it off to the side?
You can feel it.
Can't feel it. It's just cut at an angle. It's like 90 degrees.
He's lucky.
Wow.
Healed by itself. He would go to the doctor, they would send him to Auschwitz.
So you can't even tell anybody. You just need to suck it up. God, broken rib. I'd be in bed for a month.
He was in pain.
You complain. Let me see. Can I see?
It healed by itself.
It healed by itself. You got very lucky.
Feel it. You can feel
I
it.
feel it.
Right here.
Oh, wow. It's like a giant knot. It's just pushing out. For all your life, it's set the wrong way.
It means that
cracked and then be healed over that. So instead of being a natural curve, it's like a 90-degree angle.
you have to believe at something, that it's saved him, that he wasn't sent to Auschwitz. If he would go to the doctor, they would send him to Auschwitz.
Did you feel any guilt of like
I had fever.
the fever?
Yeah.
You
But
had
he didn't go to
boils,
the doctor.
lice, you had broken ribs. You can't go to the doctor. Did you ever have any feeling of like, why me? Why did I survive and not other people? Afterwards?
I was strong enough to work. That's the only...
Yeah, I asked you right before we started. You were like, lucky, whatever it is. That's
That
the
I
only
was
reason you
strong
didn't get
enough.
sick.
I never was sick. Oh, I had typhoid.
You had typhoid? How did you forget that? That's a humongous sickness. If I had typhoid, I would tell everybody that for the rest of my life. I would never ever forget that.
No, I survived. I guess I am strong. I never was...
I've never heard anyone say, "Oh, I had typhoid." I completely forgot about it. Wow.
But that was after the war or during the war? I don't remember even.
Does it blend in?
So many
Some
years.
way?
During the
During
war?
the war.
I guess I'm a strong individual.
I think it's amazing you guys found each other in a concentration camp and managed to find each other again after the war. It's just the odds alone. I'm a statistics guy, and just the odds alone, once you got separated, that you would ever find each other again, I know are insurmountable.
How
Let
did
alone-
we find each other? Oh, I went with my cousin to a kibbutz.
To a kibbutz?
Yes, because a lot of people, they opened kibbutzim. People didn't have where to live and things. So she went to visit somebody there, and I said, I go with you. And over there, I met his cousins.
You said hi.
And that's how we found each other.
His cousin told you? Your cousin told you? Helen was there. Where did you ooh, Helen. I remember
So
her.
the next thing, we didn't have phones or anything.
Yeah.
He took the train.
And she
was
went to visit
1
you?
hour away.
Riding over fast.
Did you bring flowers? What'd you do?
Who had money for
I
her?
don't know.
bought her underwear. She didn't have no clothes.
You brought her underwear.
He
That's
took
nice.
me to buy underwear and things. I didn't have a pair of shoes to
And then
wear.
you started dating after that, or how did you start your relationship?
He used to come on weekends
Okay,
from Bayreuth,
okay.
and I lived in Weiden. And after,
It wasn't long
We
before you
got
decided.
married. We got married. In
Yeah,
Hawaii.
1947.
we got a
And the kosher
wedding.
wedding
Had a kosher wedding. Met in the Holocaust and had a kosher wedding
after college.
2 years later.
You know,
Yeah.
in America.
You got married here in America? No,
No, in Germany.
Married there.
In Germany.
Okay.
But the rabbi was there, and we had a kosher kitchen.
After the war.
You could
Germany.
eventually find kosher food.
Yeah. In a small town had kosher food.
No, the rabbi was there, and they had a kosher kitchen.
Okay.
And he married us,
He's been married for 47, 50, 60, 70,
60 some years.
Yeah, 64 years. 64 years you've been married.
You had to, because
I'm 88 years old.
88. You guys are one of the last few survivors. Everyone's
That's right.
everyone's getting
how old
older.
am I?
It's 3 years.
26.
You're not 26 now.
No,
No
I was
offense.
born
So I can
26.
tell. You were born in 1926.
83.
83.
83 and 88. Okay. Willy and Helen Luksenburg. Thank you very much for sharing your
More than
stories with me. Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, I
People
think people have to
get some
know.
information out of this.
Otherwise, it will be forgotten. People
Yeah.
don't talk about it. And I don't believe, it hurts me too. I cry each time. But some people don't say, I can't talk about it.
I'm glad you did.
I don't take pleasure out of it.
No,
But I
totally.
wanted people should know and be aware, to have their ears and eyes open, to speak up.
Okay.
We were closed up. We didn't have a chance to go and protest or do anything.
No, you didn't. You had no chance. People, I remember used to ask them when I was little, like, why didn't they fight back? I'm like, there's no fighting back. You're outnumbered by...
Sure.
They have guns. It's just, there's no...
Somebody stayed in front with you with a rifle.
Yeah. It's just hard to even understand it, but thank you very much for talking and helping.
You're more than welcome.
Okay.
Refuse. Whenever somebody wants to
You
help,
keep mine.
Yeah, I'll send you. I'll send.
If
I'll send notes.
if I find extra one, I give it to your father.
Okay.
Sometimes I find when I work in the museum.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to hear Willy talk for the next, I don't know how long, Mondays.
Yeah.
Mondays from like noon to 3, around there. You'll volunteer and you tell your story at the National Holocaust Museum, which is really a beautiful place. It's built to look like a train car, like a train station. I'm glad you volunteer there. People can have access.
I was the first volunteer.
Really? The very first volunteer. It was opened 19 years ago.
I was there and I said, why don't we have volunteers? And I was sitting at the table. I was one of the first volunteers to be
All
able.
the uniforms, I'm the only one belongs to the Holocaust Museum. The rest
Your uniform.
is on loan from Poland.
Oh, the rest, yours belongs to them,
That's
and the rest are on loan.
On loan,
Because you saved your uniform, the stripes.
yeah.
The farmer found.
The farmer who rescued you.
Buried it. I came in, she was afraid. I said, no.
So if you had fallen down during your march, if you had fallen down a day earlier,
I would be dead.
you'd be dead. You
Just
survived
the war-
this
just
6 years of the
my luck-
war,
My luck, I fell, and the war was over.
and the German soldiers were gone. They had fled. And you just continue to walk because they didn't know?
I was there, and the farmer found me.
Yeah.
Took me in the barn, took my clothes off, and buried it.
But so you were walking with the rest of the people,
Right.
and the Germans had already left. But they told you walk, and you just kept walking.
And he fell. The German
Yeah.
passed him. And he was laying there. And
But
the
they were like,
farmer
"Forget
found
it."
him.
The war's over, forget it.
Buried
Just
my,
go.
I had the pants too.
Thank God.
I pick up my jacket, not the pants.
Not the pants.
Full of lights.
So you buried it to kill the lice? Okay. Thank you guys very much, Helen and
I don't know
Willy
how
Luksenburg.
I don't even remember how I survived.
You don't. Just however you could, body found a way.
How? I was liberated by the
By the
Russians.
By the Russians.
And they just put us in a separated house, gave us food. They didn't harm us or anything. Some people said Russian, they were afraid. There were so many Jewish Russians.
Oh, yeah.
They tried to help us and so whatever, sometimes you hear stories,
The Russians are bad, but you're like, no, they were good to us. Okay.
don't believe it. That's how I survived. He was liberated by
America.
America.
Why'd you guys come to America? Did you not find a place for yourself out there anymore?
No, he was evacuated in a different place. I was near where the Russians.
Or why'd you decide to move to America?
Used to
Why?
be the French and the English in America.
Why?
Yeah.
Because he was drafted.
So you,
And I didn't want to go to Israel because he would, I
Go to
don't
war.
know if he would live.
and you wouldn't get to stay in
He
Europe?
was drafted.
Yeah. And you weren't going to stay in Europe? That was,
No.
No.
So he was in
Why not?
Munich.
Why not? Why not stay in Europe or in Germany?
Oh,
I
no.
was in Munich and registered myself.
It was too painful.
You knew
to
right away we're not
remain
gonna stay there.
Yes. He was in Munich and he saw a line. He said, what's the line for? Registering to America. So he registered.
Just like that, you saw it and said, okay, yeah,
And 2 months later
Then you
they
see
called
all that-
him.
screw it, I'm going to America.
Sail on the ship to America.
9-day travel.
You didn't have anything?
9 days. I remember taking 10 hours when I was little and I was complaining the whole time. I said, 10 hours? Get me back to my Nintendo.
Took a long time.
Yeah.
But they gave us food and things. So I was sick. He was sick. I wasn't.
On the boat.
Because, you know why? Because he was afraid that he would not bring me to America alive. So they gave me an upper deck. And we were separated, and the men were on the bottom. So I didn't get sick.
I was throwing up.
You were throwing up because of seasickness?
I didn't get sick because I was so high up. But we were separated for 9 days.
And you were barfing, and you were throwing up, and she was having a great time on the top deck.
He was worried that he would not bring me alive.
She was playing shuffleboard. You were afraid you were going to die at the bottom, and she was playing shuffleboard and hopscotch and swimming in the pool.
No, I didn't know how to swim. So, we can talk about it.
Yeah. All right, you guys, thank you very much. This is Skeptic Tank number. I'm not sure what number it is.
Mine. If I find it, I'll give you.
Yeah, I'll send it back.
If I find one I'm working, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Something I'll find it.
Okay, thank you. I'll scan these and put them on
The
there.
guy who hooked up with me, I asked him to look for it.
Okay. Thank you, guys. All right, that's it, everybody. That's the episode. Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank number 45 is done. If you tuned all the way in and listened to it all the way through, thank you very much. I think these things are really, really important to hear. And that's it. I really, when the Holocaust gets brought up, I used to always try to think of how we're better off in some way for having it happen. How we're, even though all the atrocities went down, all the millions and millions of people died, I used to think, well, what can we learn from this? Maybe we're stronger as a people or something like that. But now, after hearing this and after getting a little older, I just think there's nothing to learn. I just think it's a horrible, horrible situation. Purely negative. Thank you very much to Willy and Helen Luksenburg for talking to me. I really appreciate them sharing. I don't quite know how to do interviews like this. So it was tough. I just try to keep them talking. And they could remember whatever they could remember. If you want more information, please visit the Holocaust Memorial in Washington, D.C. It's an important view. I also put on my website, each of them have a book. In the Holocaust Memorial, they have these little pamphlets, these little tiny books that you can take with you. And it's just one person in the Holocaust story. And each of them have a book, so I scanned it and I put it on my website, arishaffir.com. So please check out that if you want more information. I'll also include a link to the Holocaust Memorial so you can go there and check out if you're in town. It's not a fun visit, but it's about 2 or 3 hours and it's sort of important. I tried doing this interview without crying. I got most of the way through it, and I tried doing this wrap-up without crying, and I got most of the way through that, too. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. I do these every Monday. I'll be back next Monday with something way more lighthearted. So thank you for tuning in, and have a good rest of the week, everyone. And please, if you talk to anyone else who listened to this also, share with them. Talk about it. See what you guys thought about it. That might be something interesting for you. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in. Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank number 45, The Holocaust Couple with Willy and Helen Luksenburg. Finished.